The thing is that we wanted to make sure we had a balance of real drama, real history, real events, and also the tragedy of the history as well, but also fun, superhero, exciting adventure. It's a cool adventure as well. There's a lot to come.
Yeah, like it's working with my son, but have any schools or teachers, are they using the book as a teaching tool, especially in history classes?
Yeah, well, right now what they've done is Random House Publishing, who published the book, who we got to say thank you to them for taking us on, because they really were open to the idea and open to the concept and were willing to work with us all along the way with very little criticism. They have put together a educator guide, which they've sent out to every school, and as far as we know, a lot of schools and libraries are going to make it a part of their teaching programs and reading programs, and so a lot of kids are going to be exposed to the Sons of Liberty and learn not just learn history, but have fun with learning it.
And there's also there were a lot of summer reading lists that included the Sons of Liberty. And there's a lot. We've received a lot of emails from teachers that wanted to get more information about how the series is going to progress, because they're interested in using it in their classroom, because they feel that this is something that actually it gives a good opening to the world of history, to a lot of the things that actually happen, and they can discuss it. And just as you were saying with your son, when you read the book and he asked if Benjamin Franklin actually had superheroes hiding, and that gives an opportunity for you to explain, well, no, but this is what he did do, or this is what he didn't do. It really opens up the opportunity to be able to talk about this and talk about who these people, who the founding fathers were, how they lived their lives, and a lot of other things that we cover in the book. There's a lot of, and particularly in book 2, there's a lot of history, and we're bringing a lot more history into it as it goes along, because book 1 is mostly an origin story. It gives you the background of the characters and what we have there. But book 2 really delves into a lot of the history and the stamp act crisis in particular.
Well, another thing we're facing, we're seeing a lot of emails and reviews are trying to differentiate what's fact and what's fiction in the book and in the series. And so we're having on our website, we're going to have a game called Fact versus Fiction, where people can actually answer questions and see if you can actually figure out what parts of the book are real history. A lot of people are surprised to find that Benjamin Lay was for real. He wasn't a made up character in our book, as shocking as that is. So there's going to be a lot of things like that to come in the series, where there can be fun questions and people can figure out what's real and what's not.
All that is linked up on GeekSpeakRadioshow.com, by the way. The Facebook page, the book page, everything is on there. Can you give us teases a little bit with what you can with issue number 2? I think it's called Death in Taxes, right?
Yes.
Joe, do you want to share?
Yeah, well, Death in Taxes takes place during the Stamp Act crisis, and Graham and Brody, of course, are still pursuing, in particular Graham, because Graham is a driving force in trying to get them back to Africa. He wants to go back to Africa. He wants to get away from the colonies, and so he has his motivation. He has his focus on that, and we have a lot of things going on. There's riot, there's unrest, there's
we're heading towards revolution, and
we're heading towards revolution.
Riots are blown up in the streets, and meanwhile, Brody is becoming more and more part of the rebellion against Britain, while Graham is more focused on just escaping America. And so
Graham wants to leave. Graham has wanted to leave since book 1, and Brody is even in book 1, I think he believes inside that there's something here, that whatever there is that's going to happen here in this colony, in these colonies, he wants to be a part of that. But he doesn't really understand that yet fully, because he is young, but he's coming to understand, and really he comes into his own in book 2. Book 1 he's very young, but in book 2 he does start coming into his own and developing his own ideas as well, and his own goals. So the characters grow in the story. They grow as and the situation also develops. So you have a lot of conflicts, multiple conflicts. You have the Britain versus the American colonies. You have the father and son issue between Ben Franklin and William Franklin. You have and to a certain extent a conflict between Graham and Brody. They're differing points of view. They're going different directions, and And so there's a lot of other things going on. There's several subplots in this story as well. So it's going to make for an interesting read, I hope.
Is there any of you in Graham and Brody?
Oh, I think we are Graham. I think we're both
so.
really.
Yeah, I mean, Joseph is 4 years older than Graham, and Graham is 4 years older than Brody. You know, there are the slight personality aspects to them, but Graham and Brody are more so modeled in a fun way, in a cool way, modeled after Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X, whereas Graham is a lot more like Malcolm X, and where, you know, by any means necessary, he lives by that rule. And, you know, Brody is more like Martin Luther King, where he's more optimistic about relations and his position in the United States, in America at the time. So, they're more.
Both of them have fighting spirits, but they both have fighting spirits, but they both feel that there are different ways about getting what they want. And anyway, go on, Alex.
Graham is definitely more impulsive, and he'll lean towards the first punch to solve the problem. And Brody's more of a, you know, he wants to think about the decision before he actually dons the mask and jumps to action. You know, so there is definitely that. But, you know, I mean, you can't help, when you write a story, you can't help but include certain personality aspects. And I don't know, it's a little complex, I guess.
I was always the first one to throw a punch anyway, Alex. You know that, so.
yeah, me.
Well.
Yeah, so Alex and Joseph, both of you know this already. You both have a hit on your hands. When is issue number 2 in the stores?
Oh, it's coming out, I believe, in the spring of 2011. I don't know what the exact date is, but it's in spring. And we can't wait. It looks beautiful. Steve Walker and Oren Kramick have done an outstanding job. These guys are, you know, consummate professionals, and they love the craft, and they put all their heart and passion into it. So it's a real pleasure to work with them. It's a real pleasure to work with Random House Publishing. They've done an amazing job being supportive of this whole series as well. And it's great to be able to share this with guys like you guys, like the Geek Speaks radio show. It's amazing to be on here and talking with you guys and sharing this with you right now. So thank you for that.
Yeah, it's a pleasure having you guys here. And then, by the way, there is a fan page on Facebook. We have it linked up on geekspeakradioshow.com. And yeah, so again, Alexander and Joseph, thanks a lot for coming on. I would say wish you luck with it, but like I said, you guys have a hit on your hands. I'm sure of it. I'm sure you know already.
Thank you.
And if you want to come back and talk about Death and Tax, when that comes out, you're more than welcome to.
Oh, we'll be back. Great. We will.
All right, thanks, guys. Take it easy.
Bye-bye now.
You well.